Hi people, welcome back to Word Magic, and I'm going to be answering a few reader questions today. So I highly suggest that you subscribe to my YouTube channel below if you'd like to get continued notifications of my videos, and subscribe to my newsletter if you'd like to hear what books I have coming out, because that is the ultimate best way, the very, very best way to get notification of all my books. The only other better way is to continually check my website. So why don't you do that, and we'll get started here. So let's get back to it. I'm here with Caly, my compatriot, one of my kitties. She is drooling a little bit, as you can see. She needs her tummy medicine, which we will give her right after this video. She has a little bit of an upset tummy now and then, and her tummy medicine just calms it down, and then for some reason it stops her from drooling. So that is what we do. She's a very skittish girl, and she's always feeling like she needs to protect me from things out there and things out there in the cyberverse. She's very sensitive, and I try to calm her down and let her know she's doing a good job and that she brings me the best toys ever. Um, but sometimes, once in a while, her tummy just acts up. And that's probably more than you needed to know about one of my cats. But you know, I'm telling you anyway because that's who I am. I talk about my cats, their family. So who am I, in case you don't know who I am? I am Yasmine Galenorn, and I am a New York Times, Publishers Weekly, and USA Today bestselling author of over 65 books. I have 23 years in the business, 20 of it indie. Let's reverse that. 20 of it traditional and 3 of it indie. And I went indie for various reasons, which I'll talk about in another video because I've been asked about that too. I have some information on my website already about it, but I'll go into more detail another video. For now, I'm going to just answer a few questions here. The first one, someone asked about my series Bible. I talk about that a lot, and each series does have a Bible, and they asked whether it was for each book or each series. Well, no, it's for each series, and after each book comes out, I update it. Now, I'm hoping to maybe give a workshop later on this year about this for writers if they are interested, because I've done workshops before at various meetings, like RWA meetings and stuff, and people loved my series Bible workshops. Anyway, this is my series Bible for the Hallowed Hunt series. As you can see, it's a binder, and right now it's a smallish binder. The Otherworld series, the binder is like, 3-4 inches thick. And this, one day, I hope will be as big. When I write the spin-off of this series, the Raven books, they will be under the heading of the Hallowed Hunt series, but they will also be labeled an anti-fae adventure. And that's anti, A-N-T-E, as in before, not A-N-T-I, as in against. And Raven's series Bible will be connected with this because it's the same world and the same time frame, and they do a lot of crossover. I'll be doing a lot of crossover. So yes, after I write each book, I try to update the series Bible and keep it as updated as I can, because what it does is it helps me prevent from like changing somebody's eye color. If I can't remember what eye color they have, I look in here and it tells me. If I can't remember exactly why a certain thing happened, I look in here under the plots and subplots, and it's like, oh, that's why I did that. Because believe it or not, writers don't necessarily remember every single thing that went on in our books. Like with the Otherworld series, I've written so many books in that series, I can't remember some of what happened in book 8. It's like, sorry, no. lucky if I can remember my name some days. So, Series Bible keeps things accurate and keeps me from making stupid mistakes, like I made with Fury's Mantle. Now, I will admit I did not have the Series Bible updated at that point, and for some reason I had forgotten that I had killed off a character. Minor character, but he was definitely a character. And I somehow brought him back in Fury's Mantle, and I will find a way to make it germane. Trust me, I will find a way that it works. However, I don't like having to do that. I don't like having to remember things like, oh crap, I just, you know, did that and it's out there and I can't really take it back. I mean, I could write them out and republish the book, but people know that I did that. You know, I don't feel that would be accurate. I'd rather use my intellect and wit to figure out a way to make it actually work. Anyway, next question. I've been asked about my favorite tarot decks. What are my favorite tarot decks? Well, I've been reading the tarot since 1981, since a year after I entered the craft. And I was 20 in 1981. And I started out reading on the Aleister Crowley Thoth deck, and that's my favorite deck still. I love that deck. It is complex. It doesn't look at the world in black and white. It doesn't use reverse meanings. And there's a whole lot of shades of gray in between, you know, good and bad there. And the cards are very vivid and they speak to me. The art speaks to me. So that's my favorite deck of all. Second favorite deck would be the Rohrig deck. Now, it's a German deck. It's out of print as far as I know, because last year when I decided I needed to buy a second copy, because mine was getting very worn out after many, many years of use, I ended up spending $155 on eBay to get a new but out-of-the-box copy. And I think I've seen them priced as high as $1,000. So yeah, my second favorite deck is the Rohrig deck. It's more sensual. It's very much like the Thoth deck, but it's much more sensual in terms of imagery. I also like the size of the cards. I like bigger cards. I've got very short fingers, very small hands, but I handle a bigger deck better. No, I'm not thinking about that. Get your mind out of the gutter. Anyway, so I just recently bought a new deck as well called the Dreams of Gaia deck. And I like the deck. I like the premise. It's not exactly like a tarot deck because it's a few more cards, but it's not an oracle deck either. It's based on the tarot, and I like the setup of it. So I am learning that deck at this time. And one other deck I'd like to mention is an oracle deck, and it's called the Way of the Cartouche, and it's based on Egyptian symbology. And that deck I found is extremely accurate, but I only use it when I have a serious issue to address. I never use it for lighthearted questions or lighter questions or run-of-the-mill questions or general readings. It just, to me, it's a very heavy energy and very accurate, and I feel like I want to give it the respect that I feel that it deserves by treating it as a once in a while deck, you know, as I only go to it when there's something I absolutely need to know. So those are my 4 favorite decks at this point, and that changes now and then, but the Thoth deck and the Rohrig deck always are in the top 2. I also have a deck I really like called, well, I've got, 40 some decks, but I have a couple other decks that I really like. One is the Wildwood deck, And another one is the Fantastical Creatures deck. Those I like a whole lot. So there's the answer to that question. Now, another thing I would like to address is I've been getting more questions and comments on, well, why don't you put out print books anymore? I don't want to buy your books anymore because they're only ebook. Well, I've got a little bit of news for you. The fact is, all my full-size novels that I put out in indie are in print. You can get them in print. You just have to order them off Amazon. Or sometimes a few other distributors have them, but you can't just walk into a store and get them. However, you can get them in print. So no more writing to me, yelling at me about, I can't get your books in print. Now, I'm going to say something about bookstores, because a lot of people are like, but I want to walk into a bookstore and find it. Unfortunately, with the way things have gone, and it's not just because of Amazon, it's because of lousy management, a number of bookstores have been dust. So a lot of places don't have bookstores. And some of the bookstores that are out there, they do not carry every book. They carry a fraction of all the books out there. So if you haven't seen, whether it's my books or another favorite author's books, if you haven't seen their books in the store, don't assume they aren't writing. Go check their websites, because frankly, the bookstores are not carrying much, and what they do carry, they turn over very quickly. And you know, those books, when they get sent back to the publisher, what happens to them is they tend to get pulped, which means they get destroyed. And something a lot of readers didn't know is that when a bookstore orders books and they can't sell them, they just strip the covers off and they send them back to the publisher, the rest of the book back to the publisher. They get credit for it. The author does not get any money for that, and the books themselves get destroyed. So, yeah, stripping covers was always kind of hard for me when I'd hear, you know, bookstore owners actually tell me, "Oh, sure, sign stock. It's okay. You can sign books because if we can't sell them, we'll just strip them." You know, it's like, thank you for telling me that. I really didn't want to hear that, but I mean, I knew it happened, but to be told to your face that it's okay if you sign books because if they don't sell, we're going to just destroy them. It's kind of heartbreaking. Actually, I think I have that backwards. I think they send the covers back to the... Would you stop? You're making the camera waver in and out. Thank you. Go that way. They strip the covers off and send the covers back, and then they just recycle the rest of the book, pulp it. But yeah, so if you haven't seen your favorite author's books in the bookstores, do not assume that they are not writing. Very good chance that they are writing and the books are just not making it to the store shelves. And authors do not have a say over that. And even publishers don't have that much of a say over that anymore. So yeah, you can get my books in print. Yes, they are different size. They are not mass market size. They are trade size. And yes, they do cost more because POD always will cost a bit more. But if you do love print and you want to read print, they are there and available. Now the novellas are not, because they are short and they would be way too overpriced for a single book. And frankly, I did a compendium of Otherworld tales, an anthology of my own shorts, and they don't sell that well, and it costs extra to put that together. So as to whether I'll do more anthologies, I'm not so sure, because the people who said they wanted it in print didn't seem to come through that much. Anyway, so otherwise than that, I am working on the Silver Mist right now, and the Hallowed Hunt will come out next week. Next week you're going to see it, and it will land on your Kindles or whatever e-reader you use on the 27th, and I hope to have it out in print within a week after that. So yes, it will be in print. And after I write The Silver Mist, I write Raven's first book, and I'm excited about that. And I hope you are too, because Raven is a firecracker, and oh, I have plans for that character. So I will be writing Raven book or two, and then back to Ember after that. So yeah, this year, all Ember, all Raven, and the last Otherworld book, which comes out in April 15th. So I will talk to you later, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Make it the best week you can, because, you know, really, we need to create our own joy. You can't wait for somebody else to create joy in your life. And Kaylee's telling me there are birds outside. There are birdies out there. Birds, Mom. No, she doesn't get to go out. She doesn't get to go chase the birdies. But that's okay, because I know about him, and she did her job. Anyway, you are making the camera do weird focusing things. That's okay, because you're very cute. And when it focuses in on you, you know that's all that matters. Have a blessed week. Have a wonderful week. And I will talk to you next week. So take care. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like this video if you liked it. And I will talk to you later.